Joining me now is Mary Bonauto, Civil Rights Project Director for GLAAD, Gay and Lesbian Advocates and Defenders. She has been called the legal architect of the DOMA repeal, an incredible attorney and an incredible voice in this movement for equality. You were on the legal team that brought the case, and there were a lot of questions. A lot of people were feeling cautiously optimistic that on DOMA, that the court was going to rule in your favor. But there was a big question about how broad or narrow that ruling might be. When you got that opinion in your hands today and you read through it, what was your sense of how broad or how narrow is this? Where is this on the scale of what you wanted out of this court?
I would say it was practically perfect. It was a terrific ruling. It was a strong equality ruling. Justice Kennedy didn't go for the federalism issue that some people speculated he would. It is unusual, of course, to have the federal government saying anything about marriage, and he noted that in the context of equal protection and saying, why was the federal government essentially overriding states' determination that people are married when it comes to all federal laws? But anyway, it was a terrific decision.
You were an early litigant in trying to push this at the state level. You were part of the lawsuit in Massachusetts that the state Supreme Court in Massachusetts ultimately found that any kind of differential marriage in that state violated that state's constitution. When you started this undertaking, did you think you would see a moment like today in your lifetime?
I hoped I would. I remember when DOMA was passed by the Congress in 1996, and of course that was 8 years before we had marriage anywhere, and I knew DOMA was an outlier then. It was a special rule just for gay people to disadvantage them, and it was incredible today to see the clarity of that decision, making it clear that DOMA was, in fact, intended to demean and denigrate gay people and tell us and tell the community and tell our own families that we're unworthy of federal respect. So now we have a situation where DOMA's official federal disrespect for our relationships has been replaced by respect by the federal government for all of these 1,000 laws that are affected.
The majority of states in this union do not have marriage equality. Some of them, many of them, have prohibitions at the constitutional level against it. Today, a fascinating thing happened. Justice Scalia handed folks like you, who are warriors on behalf of equality, a roadmap for how to take the majority's decision and use it to just crack everything open wide. In his dissent, he takes part of, this is an amazing book, can we put this up? In his dissent, he takes part of the majority opinion. He says, hey, guys, this is how you take the majority opinion, you cross out a few words, and what you end up with is this identical argument to strike down every ban of marriage equality across the nation. Is that your next step?
That discussion is already underway. There are 5 lawsuits right now in federal court challenging constitutional bans on marriage. There are state-level efforts to win legislatively. There are cases in state courts. I mean, the discussion is happening, and I think over the next number of years, you're going to see every branch of government, state and federal, involved in these discussions, and of course, the court of public opinion. So we are undoubtedly moving forward, and I think this issue will be back at the Supreme Court. The DOMA decision, and I really want to give a shout-out to Robbie Kaplan and Edie Windsor,
yes,
and the ACLU, and the Stanford Law Clinic, who really drove that case and did such a phenomenal job. But the DOMA decision was really about DOMA, but it's really clear by the ringing declarations from the court that equality means equality, including for gay people and including in the context of gay people's family relationships, that this is a building block going forward.
Anthony Kennedy cites specifically the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution and the violation of the equal protection, and that Constitution pertains in every state. So Attorney Mary Bonauto from GLAAD, thank you very, very much.